Good evening, everybody. Once again, this is the UFC 133 post-fight recap with Sedinberg Thunderheart. And man, tonight, this card, 133 UFC, has a lot of OMG, oh my god type of moments that we've had. Terrific fights and even better finishes in many of the fights tonight that we've had. So, and with a main event of Tito Ortiz versus Rashad Evans 2, man, that was such an awesome main event that was. But before I get to that, I'm going to get to the other fight. So here we go. Rafael Nadal versus Paul Bradley. And the winner is Rafael Nadal, unanimous decision. Mike Brown versus Nam Phan. And the winner is Mike Brown, unanimous decision. And this was one of those events where I didn't really care too much for it. It was a lot of sloppiness with the grappling and also striking. Johnny Hendricks versus Mike Pierce, and of course the winner is Johnny Hendricks, a split decision. So it's not one of the best fights I've seen, but congratulations anyway to Johnny Hendricks on his victory. And one of the best actually unanimous decision victories I've seen was Ivan Menchevar versus Nick Pace, and the winner is Ivan Menchevar, unanimous decision. So that was an excellent fight with lots of great grappling, great striking, with actual technique involved, with great elbows, sharp kicks, grappling, and almost to a point where Nick Pace would look like he was going to submit Ivan because he was on his back for a long time. But needless to say, Ivan hung on, kept fighting, and he went to the unanimous decision. So congratulations, Ivan. Chad Mendes versus Ronnie Yahya. And the winner is Chad Mendes, unanimous decision, so that was a pretty good one. Except that, actually Chad Mendes had more takedowns, more ground techniques, and even though Yahya was a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner, he could not take him down. He couldn't really do any submission attempts, so Chad definitely did more than Yahya, so congratulations Chad Mendes on the victory. And, man, one of the greatest upsets I've seen in a long time, I'll have to say, Matt Hamill versus Alexander Gustafsson. And the winner is Alexander Gustafsson TKO. I mean, let's just face it. I mean, sure, Gustafsson had like a leverage advantage because he was taller than him. So Matt Hamill was a little bit of trouble, but Matt Hamill was still able to get in there and actually hit him a couple times and got him on the run in the first round. And even busted his eye, got a cut eye right there, and he went through the first round. But then by the second round, Gustafsson was actually hitting Matt Hamill, got his eye hurt as well. And then on top of that, he basically kept going with the techniques. He finally found his flow. Rather than actually running from Matt Hamill, he finally found his rhythm to actually go on the offensive with good combinations of strikes, and even threw a good roundhouse that kicked him, sent him to the fence, and even like threw a nice front kick, just barely tapped him. But that was the beginning of the end, because then what happened was Gustafsson just kept on hitting him, and then got a good uppercut. When he went down, and then he just kept pounding and pounding with hammer fists, elbows, even elbows like this, straight elbows like that, and punches and all the different things like that. And so the referee had to stop the fight. So congratulations, Alexander Gustafsson. He is on his way now that he has defeated a veteran like Matt Hamill. So congratulations, Alexander Gustafsson. And Rory MacDonald versus Mike Pyle. And what a great fight that was. And the winner is Rory MacDonald TKO. I mean, this was a great TKO victory because it started, of course, when they were measuring each other, definitely throwing strikes, kicks and leg kicks and different things like that. And of course, it went to the ground a few times actually. Pyle tried to take him down, then Roy ended up taking him to the ground, but then Roy would stand up, and then Mike Pyle would still be on the ground, throwing kicks to his knees and so forth. Of course, Rory MacDonald wasn't letting up. He was doing like outside leg kicks to him while he was on the ground. But needless to say, after a while, it went to the ground again, and Rory MacDonald was in a mount position where he actually was able to do a nice hook punch from his left to hit him, and that was the beginning and the end, because then that's when Mike Pyle, which I felt was a mistake, went on his back, and that's when Rory MacDonald took advantage of it, went to the side and started punching him and hitting him and so hard to a point where the referee had to stop the fight. So congratulations, Rory MacDonald, and that awesome victory that he had. So he's definitely on his way as well. And Jorge Rivera versus Constantinos Phillippou. And the winner is Constantinos Phillippou split decision. I mean, this was a great fight overall. I mean, let's just put it this way. In the first round, they were just basically were on the fence. Costa is the guy's name, Phillippou, had him on the fence. Jorge Rivera on the fence and had him and kicked him in the knees and stuff like that. And so it kind of turned out boring, but then the action picked up afterwards in the first round. And then in the second round, we really thought that Jorge Rivera was finished because he actually had him pounded on the ground. But then Jorge Rivera just, with all that energy, mustered up the energy to push him to the fence and even got back and started pounding on Phillippou. And I was like, whoa, this is like, ooh, it was exciting. The way he just pounded on him. But needless to say, it went forward, and it even got to a point where Phillippou had him almost in the omoplata position. He almost had it locked up. And so he had him locked up for a long time, and I was actually surprised he didn't get the submission on him. But nonetheless, Jorge Rivera hung on, and he actually was finally able to get out by turning him over. And then Phillippou got out of it, and then by the third round, it was just with the tying up and the fence, just elbows and knees, and even knees to the legs and things like that. But in any event, Phillippou did more than Jorge, just a little bit more. So it went to a split decision. So congratulations, Phillippou, Constantinos Phillippou, on your victory, on your split decision victory. That was well deserved. And oh boy, I'm having a little hard time talking about this, but I'm gonna go ahead and go with this. This next bout that I'm going to talk about was one of the, not necessarily the most greatest moments I've actually seen, but it was a good fight nonetheless. And it was Dennis Hallman versus Brian Ebersole. And the winner is Brian Ebersole TKO. I mean, let's just face it. Dennis Hallman, came out and took Ebersole down, even like had him on a back because he had him in trouble. He was getting ready to give him a choke. But Ebersole, fought it off with some technique, kept blocking, kept going and doing different snaking around his arms and getting him off of him. And then finally he was able to turn around and got him in a mount position and got him in such trouble he decided he just hit him hard with fist, elbows, and then kept on keeping his legs at bay so he would not get triangled or guarded or anything like that. He just kept on elbowing him to such a degree that he was busting him up, blooding him up all over his face. And then on top of that, he finally got that nice last elbow right to the face, just smashed it to a point where he broke his nose. And man, when he actually broke his nose, he just smashed him, and that's when he was just out, and the referee told, okay, stop, enough, and rewarded Ebersole, a great, incredible athlete that he is. Now I know why I was so amazed by him, and now he's shown it why he is with so many fights under his belt. Now here's the thing, and so not to take credit for Brian Ebersole because that was a well-deserved victory, but this guy Dennis Hallman, let me put it to you this way: this man has had 66 good fights that he's won, so he's obviously a great fighter. But the fact that he came out wearing a blue, it's supposed to be of Speedos type of shorts, like pro wrestlers or wrestlers that wear it. But the way he was wearing it, it looked like a blue thong, for crying out loud. That's what made me really uncomfortable even talking about this. I mean, the fact that Dennis Hallman, really, man? He's really? Come on, man. Are you kidding me? What were you thinking coming out wearing a blue thong like that? And then just going around shaking it and like you trying to be funny. I mean, were you trying to be funny? Were you trying to be humorous? Or were you trying to be marketable? Because if that was the case, I'd have to say this. Marketable. No. You may be memorable. People may remember you, but now they're going to remember you as the guy with wearing a thong. That guy's ass kicked, if anything, rather than a guy who's really talented that earned 66 wins. But you're not going to be thought about it like that. You understand? You made a bad impression on yourself wearing a thong, a blue light thong nonetheless. I mean, the men, I bet you were uncomfortable seeing you in that. I bet Brian Ebersole was laughing. Joe Rogan was laughing. Everybody was laughing. I mean, Dana White was like, oh, what the hell? The kind of fighter is this? You know, I mean, no, that is not the way you want to make an impression, okay? That is not a good impression. That, guys, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, personally, seeing that guy with a thong like that just made me sick to my stomach. Seriously, it made me sick to my stomach to see something like this. I don't mean to go about this too much, but I need to point that out because that was ridiculous. It was embarrassing, and I don't know if he's trying to attract the ladies, but look, man, okay, if you want to attract the ladies, try to go to a male strip. Go be a male strip or male dancer or something. This is MMA, okay? This ain't Chippendale. So please do us all a favor. Please do me a favor, do all of us a favor from now on as MMA fans. Leave your thong at home from now on. If you're going to come out with Speedos, come out with something that actually fits, that actually looks, you know, like a wrestler, that actually looks like you're ready to fight. It looks like you can kick some ass, and you can be a real threat to the division, because that was not cutting it. And that's, I mean, this is not something that we want to remember you by, okay? So please, from now on, if you're going to come out and fight, just leave the thong at home. Just leave it at home. If you have some fetish or whatever, that's up to you. Just keep it to yourself and leave it at home. That's all I got to say. So, anyways, guys, let me move on. Move on to something even better than this. But congratulations, Brian Ebersole. So, just to let you know. In any event, in the co-main event, Vitor Belford versus Yoshihiro Akiyama. And of course, the winner is Vitor Belford via a knockout, in my opinion, because that's basically how it was. I mean, and I didn't really think Akiyama had any real chance unless he had him grappled, but the way, you know, Vitor Belford's power and his punches and so forth, I knew it was only a matter of time. It was one of those moments when I was just sitting there waiting. I was like, wait for it. Okay, come on, wait for it, because I mean, and that's how short it was too. It wasn't even that long. So, and of course, Akiyama did a great job in doing some kicks and everything else. But Vitor Belford, just a matter of time before those fists were starting to fly and started knocking him out. I was like, wait for it. All of a sudden, boom, boom, boom. He actually hit him to give him a good right, and actually hit him in the face. And that was the beginning, the end. And he rocked him, and he just kept on hitting him. And then, of course, Akiyama was all scrambling all over, trying to, you know, get a distance. But Vitor Belford was having none of it. And then he just kept pounding with those powerful punches. And Akiyama just got knocked the hell out. And so he was rewarded. Vitor Belford was the winner of this fight. I mean, this was a dominant performance by Vitor Belford, just dominant. I mean, of course, not as dominant as John Jones versus Mauricio Hua for the Light Heavyweight Championship, but it was pretty much close to that. So, congratulations, Vitor Belford. That boy is back. Okay, he is back from a loss that he had to Anderson Silva when Anderson Silva knocked him out with a front kick. So now Vitor Belford, he's back. He's in good shape. He looks good. He's ready to go. He's ready to be a champion at some point. So look out, world. He's coming back. Now, in the main event, this was the most anticipated main event. I mean, this thing really got me, well, butterflies in my stomach, which was far different from what I was feeling from Dennis Hallman with the shorts earlier. This was a far different feeling in my stomach than that. So just let y'all know that. And so this fight, of course, with Tito Ortiz versus Rashad too, because remember, the first time when they met was UFC 73, and of course they had a unanimous draw in the first match, in the first fight. So needless to say, that first draw did not bode very well, so now they had a rematch, and Tito wanted it. And the winner is Rashad Evans via TKO. I mean, let's face it. I mean, you know, this was definitely a fight of the year, I would have to say, because these two went at it. Rashad Evans was dominant. I mean, Tito Ortiz landed some good shots, but Rashad Evans picked him up, gave him a good slam, and actually kept on knocking him out. And even Tito Ortiz, beginning the end of the first round, he was starting to get winded all of a sudden in the first round. So when the second round happened, that's when Rashad Evans and Tito were, you know, they really went at it, and just really started hitting. But then Rashad finally was able to ground him, to grab him, and then slam him again, and just grounding and pounding him just throughout most of the second round, and just hitting him and hitting him. And then finally, what happened was when Tito Ortiz was just about to get up, Rashad Evans threw a nice knee to the sternum, just hard to the sternum. and knocked the wind out of him to a point where Tito Ortiz just gave up. He gassed out, but it wasn't just he gassed out due to the endurance factor, which was almost happening. Well, that was happening too. But that knee to the sternum sure as hell did not help. Let me put it that way. It did not help him any. And then Rashad just kept on pounding him and pounding him. Referee was all saying, Tito, respond. And so then that's when the referee awarded Rashad Evans the win. So congratulations on your TKO victory, Rashad Evans. So that was excellent. Now Rashad Evans is going to be on his way now to become a contender for the light heavyweight championship once again sometime soon. So let's see what happens. Oh well, overall this is a great event overall. I mean, UFC 133, I have to say, really beat the last event in my opinion. So it was an excellent event, and I just really hope that now more UFC events will start to become more like this one tonight. So just let you know that. Anyways, this is Standing Bear Thunderheart. I'm going to get going. So good night, and have a great weekend, and many blessings to you all. Healing, it is all that is.